Hi everyone, today we're going to be completing test 23A and this is for extra credit. I need you to go through, double check your answers, and make sure you have shown your work. In order to receive extra credit, you do have to show all of your work. So let's get started. Number 1, estimate the sum of 2 and 42 hundredths, 3 and 68 hundredths, and 14 and 9 tenths by rounding each number to the nearest whole number before adding. So we have to round each number. 2 and 42 hundredths would round to 2, 3 and 68 hundredths would round to 4, and 14 and 9 tenths would round to 5. So we just round them and add them up to get our answer of 21. 22 is a little bit tricky. Which of these is not equal to 1/5? Okay, so the first thing I want to do is change 1/5 to a number over 100 because that will really help me out with figuring out what the percentage is and then with reducing. So I want you to show this. 1/5 times 20 over 20 gives us the fraction 20 over 100. So I know that that is 20%. So 20% is a right answer. You might think that this would be a right answer too, and if you think that, then you are correct. This is also 20%. And then the way we figure out the third answer is we can reduce this fraction, 20 over 100. 5 goes into 20 4 times. 5 goes into 100 20 times. So that is equal to 4/20ths also. So the only one that doesn't work is this one, 5/100ths. That's a really tricky question since we haven't been together much lately. It's a hard one. Number 3, what is the temperature shown on this thermometer? If you look closely, you can see we have a -10 here and a -20 here. So we're going to be, if we count by twos, we'll have 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So our temperature is -12 degrees Fahrenheit. Number 4, you need to show your work on 4. What is the mean of these numbers? To take the mean, which is the average, you add all 4 numbers up. The total is 64. Then you divide the numbers by how many numbers you have. We have 4. So we're going to divide 64 by 4. And when we do that, we will get 16. Pause the video to give yourself time to work if you need to do that. Number 5, what letter names the point at 1, 2? Let's look right here. Here's 1. We go up to 2, so that is A. Number 6, write the coordinates of point B. Here's point B, and we do the x-axis first, so we are going to write 2 and then 1. It's at 2, 1. So you write it like this, and you put your answers in parentheses. Number 7, the spinner below is divided into 6 congruent sectors. What is the probability that the spinner will stop on an odd number? Well, 3 out of the 6 numbers are odd, so we write 3/6 and then we reduce that to 1/2. Moving on to number 8. Refer to the hexagon to answer the following questions. All angles are right angles. What is the perimeter of this hexagon? For the perimeter, we just need to add up all the sides. 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 10 is 18, plus 1 is 19, plus 6 is 25, plus 3 is 28, so 28 centimeters. What is the area of this hexagon? To find the area, we need to split it into 2 rectangles. So if you can see this little red line I made right here, we're going to take the area of this rectangle and this rectangle, which is actually a square. Okay, so for the area of this, we need the length, which is 6, times the width, which is 1. 6 times 1 is 6. Then we need length times width of this, 4 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16, so then we add both figures together and we get 22 centimeters squared. You could also write 22 square centimeters. Number 9, write 2 1/2 as an improper fraction. To do that, we do 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, 5/2. Number 10, find the least common multiple of 6 and 8. Let's write out all the multiples and find the smallest one that they both have in common. You need to show work on this. So 6, the multiples are 6, 12, 18, 24. For 8, I have 8, 16, 24. The first number they have in common is 24. Now you can keep going and find more multiples, but we want the smallest one. So that's why we have 24. For number 11, the answer is 21, and you don't need to write it with those zeros right there. Just write 21. 21. So you add up all of your numbers. Go ahead and put 2 zeros after 13 to make it easier to work with. And the answer is 21. Show your work on that. Number 12, you also need to show your work. You're going to subtract this part first because it's in parentheses. So I did that right here, and I got 5 and 91/100ths. Pause the video to give yourself time to write. And then you do 9 minus that answer. So 9 minus 5 and 91/100ths is 3 and 9/100ths. Number 13, you're going to multiply and you'll get 40 and 5/10. Show your work on that one. Number 14 is a division problem. Pause the video to give yourself time to write out that. You're going to get 66, remainder 4. 15, we just multiply by 1,000. When we multiply by 1,000, we just move that decimal 3 places to the right. So that's how we got 234 and 5/10. Number 16, we're going to multiply 2/100ths times 1/10. So our answer is 2/1000. Make sure you show that work. Number 17, you add these fractions together. If you add them, you'll get 2 and 10/6. You can't leave it as 10/6, so 6 goes into 10 once. I have 4 left over, so I have 2 plus 1 and 4/6. That gives me 3 and 4/6. And then when I reduce this, I'll get that answer. Number 18, 7/8 minus 1/8 is 6/8. And 7 minus 1 is 6. And then we reduce this fraction to get 6 3/4. Number 19 is a multiplication problem. You just multiply straight across. You'll get 12 over 20. When you reduce that, divide each by 4. You'll get 3/5. And then number 20, we're dividing fractions. So you flip the second number and multiply. When you do that, you'll have 10/3. Keep the first fraction the same. 1 times 10 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. So we have 10/15. We can reduce that to 2/3. Make sure you show all this work on your page and turn this in for extra credit. There is no test 23B. We're just doing this extra credit test and then the end of course multiple choice test. So there's not a 23B, just this for extra credit, the end of course test, and you have a STAR test you need to complete sometime before the end of the year. Bye guys.